usually they only have telemetry and not no live camera feed from the car. So basically, if the driver is on the end of the track, the guys back in the like quote unquote pits that they've set up here, they have like telemetry, they have state of charge. So usually they tell the driver, hey, you're using a little bit too much power right now. Try to lift and coast a little bit more. Maybe sometimes they say, oh, you have more than enough power, push a bit more. Oh, that cone was a bit shit. Try to not hit it next time.
Probably, or they maybe should kind of implement a button for the driver to kind of answer, but I'm not quite sure if there's any part on the track where the drivers can really kind of communicate in a chilled way. I mean, we know that from Formula One that the teams are only supposed to talk to the drivers at the starting finish line, but here I'd say it's rather curvy than an F1.
Yeah. I wish they had like the, you know, the signs that they show at the pit lane in Formula One. We should have that too.
We could kind of put that down as a lessons learned and feedback and try to improve ourselves next year. But we don't want to put that much pressure on our tech guys.
So, ja, aber so von das, was ich jetzt da gehört, tönt es ein paar Policy. Ja, dann hängen wir das iPad nicht an. Simple as that.
Das ist nicht schlimm.
Ist alles gut. Wir schnurren einfach ein bisschen.
Oh, and Bern is taking some cones, but the track marshal is already running and securing the track. And of course, guys, we know you're missing her, our facts check girl, and we're really happy that you all filled up all the team information forms. So congratulations to all of you guys, you made it. This will help us in the further minutes to spread some news about the teams and give us some insight about you, the drivers, and we don't have to kind of get creative with the teams, especially about Cure. Aber du warst beim Briefing, ne?
We've just been lifted off the ground a little bit more. I don't know actually whether that helps all too much, seeing the cars back there in the distance, but it's always nice to have a little bit of a better vantage point.
And we should start to negotiate with Vallis about the weather. If you would get some feedback, I would recommend to get away with the clouds from the magnificent view of the mountains. That's what I would immediately try to change as a hosting team.
Yeah, I'd agree. Although I see some spots of sunlight. If you see the mountains to our left, there's a little bit of sunshine coming. Maybe there's a little bit more sunshine coming. We'll see. We'll keep you posted.
I mean, maybe that's the reason why no further teams are currently queuing in, because they're literally waiting for the track to get improved and a bit dried up by Bern and Cure. But we'll keep you updated.
Yeah, so basically the way endurance works is there's a predefined running order that every team has to follow. Basically, if the car before you is on track, you're supposed to queue in and get ready for your run. Obviously, you want to probably go as late as possible, but if you run out of order, there's penalties coming up.
And for everyone on the live stream who's maybe not familiar with the rules of Formula Student, and us wondering, okay, endurance doesn't seem to be quite a long distance, but as these cars are all prototypes, it's not a self-fulfilling promise that a car will kind of pass the endurance smoothly without any problems. But keep fingers crossed for all the teams, as this is one of their first endurance, or the overall first endurance within their season to pass.
Yeah, we've had quite a luck with jinxing other people's runs yesterday during autocross. So far, it doesn't seem to be that difficult, and Manheim is actually entering their last lap for the first driver, making their way towards the back of the airfield again. And as soon as they come back, we will see our first driver swap of the day.
Yes, and guys, we expect you to cheer no matter which time your driver will pass the endurance, but please give them a shout out and the well-deserved applause after the finish line. So we look to our right, we see the Cure team right standing next to us. Tension is rising, and we'll get you posted.
So I guess the next part, the driver swap that's upcoming, for those that are standing close by, it's probably that part of the endurance race where you see the cars most up close. During the driver swap, the first driver has to exit the car, obviously. Second driver has to get in. The car is being quickly checked by some scrutineers whether everything's still in working order and rules compliant. And they have, I think, 10 minutes to swap drivers. It's still quite a rush if they do that. And Manheim is coming in just now for the driver change. Maybe we can catch the first driver after his lap and ask him how things went.
So congratulations to you guys for the first part of finishing for our dearest driver. That's outstanding. So now we have to check if everything runs smoothly. The time is not always the limited component. Sometimes if the car can't kind of start afterwards.
I just saw the nose fairing of Byrne coming off. Are they?
But
Do you think they have to do some maintenance on the car?
No, it's just probably adapting to the other driver, as bodies are not alike. Just maybe in the case if you have an identical twin brother. I can remember we had an identical twin brother within this team.
Yeah, but he's a plumber in southern Italy. I'm not sure why. I don't think it's the twin brother. Maybe he doubles as a race driver in his free time.
Maybe. And we see a second driver. Bern is also preparing themselves for the driver change. I can only imagine how high the pulses are of the teammates and the drivers, which are preparing themselves.
So while the nose goes back on the Manheim car, actually Bern is returning, and Bern will start their final lap for the first driver just about now.
I mean, it's really crucial for the driver to see the sign and to understand what they're up to, that not there by accident drive another lap, but our track marshals will give them the second sign with the check and flag. If you will miss that, it's definitely on the team. I've actually never seen a team who missed the last lap sign. I saw a team who thought it would have been their last lap because it was indicated to another team. So sometimes misunderstandings can happen, but from now we see really, really professional behavior on and off track so far.
And so now that the cars are actually a bit closer during the driver change, we see on the back of the Manheim car there's a little sticker that says Danke an Anja. Maybe one of the Manheim guys will explain that to us a bit later, who Anja is and what she did for the team.
And we see a lot of other names actually on the back of the car, like Andy, Jesse, Kai. So maybe these are supporters who donated or supported the team outside of the workshop. So now we see Bern turning in into their slot.
Burns into the driver
Congratulations,
change.
guys.
Congratulations to the first driver. He made it look quite easy, I thought.
I mean, especially if we remember that Bern did not have the training time before, and they were telling us that it's quite a nice surprise for everyone that this car is running that smoothly. I would assume they had a night shift to prepare everything. And in the moment we see Cure leaving, so driver change done and passed, and they're ready for the second run.
And they're off. Again, I always find it fascinating compared to the autocross yesterday, where the Manheim car was smoking tires at the start and finish line. This one seems to be a little bit more chill.
I mean, the autocross is more about setting a fast lap time, the fast as possible, and the endurance, as the name itself says it, sorry for mansplaining it to you, it takes a while, and he should take its time to avoid unnecessary cones or other mistakes he could avoid if you just take 1.5 seconds more kind of time to focus.
Don't you want to go as fast as possible during endurance too?
Yes, of course, but if you're hectic and getting stressed out because you want to push yourself too hard, you will risk more cones and will limit your time anyway. So maybe you should just keep a breath and try to get a safe round. I mean, that's maybe the strategy for the first part of the dynamics, but we will get it in a second. We just got an interesting strategy note we were able to observe. While Manheim and Bern are running with slicks, we currently see rain tires on the car of Insbrook. We'll wait and see if they will stay with this choice of tires. But we're on it, guys. Because actually the track is going to dry up anymore. You see at some points where the cars were getting the idle line quite correct, especially at the slalom. You see that some parts are getting drier. So maybe Innsbruck will change to slicks, but probably not. We see now the driver approaching the cockpit, sitting in, shaking his hand. So
I figure there's like a few sunny spots as we're being hit by the sun finally. Maybe the decision to go out on slicks doesn't seem like the worst one just about now.
I mean, luckily we only have to switch between slicks or rain tires. Just imagine if we would have all the categories of like soft, intermediate and hard. That would kind of bring a lot of strategy into the competition.
I think I'll go out on a C4 today.
Next year we're gonna bring some spy goggles with me, because we literally give you just insights about the sectors. All the other guys can also see. But now we see Innsbruck approaching, still with rain tires, and off they go.
And there's the next car already queuing up. Milano is taking their spot in the queue.
Oh, we see a really bad sign. We see a push bar brought into the driver's changing area.
It's usually not a good sign, is it?
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
It's too bad. It looked really, really promising. I wonder what happened.
But give them some more time. They're still negotiating.
And Manheim is doing their next lap. Actually should take a little bit of time and get my laptop so I can actually tell you the times of the cars as they go past us.
Yes, you can. And maybe we'll find our third moderator as well. But
I
take
think
some
she's still stuck in a meeting somewhere.
Okay, unfortunately we see Bern, you are as car number 27, getting pushed out of the driver change, but still kind of big round of applause for Bern for kind of completing at least the first half of the endurance session. Great job, guys. It was a pleasure seeing you on track, keeping up the good work, and we see you back at the other upcoming events like FSG.
It's always sad to see, like, it doesn't really matter which team that you're cheering for. You basically, what you want is the best for the event and the best for the other teams. I think, especially Formula Student being like such an amazing community, it always kind of hurts if you see another team not finishing endurance. So our hearts go out to them. They did a really great job, and there's always room to improve.
I mean, no matter which kind of competition we are in, outside of the track, we all cheer for each others. And it's always nice to win against all the drivable cars, and if every car really passed the endurance, so we really know who's the best. If cars have to be retired, we hadn't had the chance to see the full potential. So yeah, but still focusing what's going on track. We still have 2 cars remaining. Insbrook is doing quite smooth. The team is cheering and looking focused on the skills of their drivers. And Manheim steady as the past.
So now I have the timing screen in front of me, and we see that actually Manheim so far has done 15 out of their 20 laps, I think 20 laps. And currently running very, very smoothly, just always kind of within the 102 to like 69, 89 seconds. Very constant so far.
And you guys, you were waiting for her. Our one and only Riki also made it. She will provide with the latest gossip out of the paddock. I'm sure that's why she was kind of running around until now. So Rika, to keep you updated, Bern unfortunately retired. Bern retired. Yeah, man heard it.
So while we're still patiently waiting for the latest gossip from the Excel sheet,
Benvenuti.
Benvenuti.
Ragazzi di Milano, back on track. Welcome, car number 19. This is not a karaoke session, my dear.
Hello, hello, hello. I guess you can hear me now. Very loud. Okay, is this better now?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, good to be back. Bring me up
Yes.
to speed. You told me Bern.
Bern retired the
Oh,
car
that's a
after
shame.
the driver change, but Manheim is doing great. They're in their second half of the endurance, so
Oh,
they
wow.
passed the driver's change. And Innsbruck just started. Nice fact also, Innsbruck is the only team currently running on wet tires. All the others are still on slicks. And also Milan just entered. So we have some teams running on the track.
That sounds like a very thrilling race. Can't wait for the other cars.
So I heard there's new gossip in the. Basically, I heard that some of the facts that we're telling people about some of the teams yesterday were not entirely true. We still stand by them, although there's been a few new facts and figures in that sheet. Apparently, some people were mean to others. Can you give us a little bit of insight on that?
Especially about the truth of the hidden twin brother of our dear Q Motorsports team leader.
Oh yeah, let me check on what we know about Cure Mannheim now. So, first of all, if there are any fun details on your car, they said they lost all fun details in tech inspection. That's a shame. But then, what else do we have? Which teams are on track? Innsbruck. Let's check what we haven't told you about Campus Tirol Motorsport until now. Okay, Campus Tirol Motorsport wants to give a shout out to someone, and that's actually Bern Racing Team, so that might bring their spirits back up at least a bit, because Bern Racing Team gave Campus Tirol Motorsport access to their beer barrels. So the message we should give out to Bern is a huge thanks to BRT for keeping the team spirits up by hooking us up with a beer barrel. So big shout out to Bern Racing Team for saving car number 77.
And also, as it's 10:30, we want to welcome everyone who just turned in to this year's endurance event of Formula Student Switzerland. Big shout out to all the communities supporting us from off-site and from the factory, basically. And thank you, cheers to all our volunteers standing currently on track, the pit marshal, scrutineers, and of course, all the people working behind the scenes to make this event possible.
Also extend a thank you to our sponsors, Glencore, Nordisches Zentrum Goms, Keller, and Feuerlöscher Service Training, Fire Safety Training.
And last but not least, a massive shout out to our hosts of this live stream, Campus Tirol Motorsports. Thank you for making this possible, and please guys check out their social channels and show some love. We really welcome you back next year to host the session, maybe a bit more kind of in advance.
So if we look at the timing sheet a little bit, it's fascinating to see, even though they are out on wet weather tires, Campus Tirol Motorsports currently sets the purple lap with a 75.869 seconds. And they're also very, very consistent. They started out their first lap at 79 seconds. They're currently on their 7th. They're 6th with a 78 seconds. So Mr. Consistency here, always nice to see.
I saw car number 90 on track. Was that correct? Dynamis. Did we already talk about the drivers of car number 90?
Is he also a plumber?
Sorry?
Is he also a plumber?
Maybe this is the hidden twin brother of Kior. And
Maybe
he just made it into another team. So
maybe
some brothers are racing against each other, like literally on track. We heard some cheering. We don't see that as an approval for our thesis, but let's give us some facts.
Well, I can at least tell you the names of the drivers. So it should be Rocco Atlante and Luca Longo. I really like Luca Longo as a name. That's a good one. So for Rocco Atlante, we received the information that he's actually the best feature you can mount on your car, and he apparently was the best photo model of Formula Student Czech in 2024. Maybe, Dynamis, you can prove that with showing us a photo of that driver later so we can give our own justification.
Also, I would personally love to see a picture of the Kyo drivers and the Milano drivers or the other kind of hidden Italian kind of teams, just to give us a new kind of challenge to find the hidden twin brother.
Yeah, and then for the other driver, for Luca Longo, he actually apparently cut his beautiful blonde tuft to make the car faster. Can you guys believe that? There is a person that cut their hair to make the car faster. We had it about that yesterday.
Yes, several times, but that was a woman who probably kind of lost more of her kind of personal commitment to her styling, but
yeah, now it's a boy. Okay, back to the racing, Ewan. What's the current status?
Well, we have a new purple lap actually, just set by Campus Tirol Motorsports with a 74.5 seconds. So that's interesting. Milano, even though they are further up in the running order, doesn't quite seem to catch the times of Tirol Motorsports.
But all eyes on the track now. We see two cars really back to back, and we see the track marshals approaching really fast. Blue flag is getting checked by the track marshal, indicating Manheim to let Milano overtake. So Manheim get into the overtaking zone while Milano passed. great, guys. That was kind of smooth, so Milano did not lose that much time.
So we currently have 3 cars on track at the same time. We expect a lot of more overtaking being done in the next couple of minutes. The car from Insbrook is actually flying across the track still. Do you think Milano is conserving battery power? Do you think they were a bit conservative in their or not conservative enough in their estimation of the battery size?
Or maybe this is part of their strategy to get like a really solid first half of her endurance and having a second driver prepared who's more aggressive and risky in their style. But speaking about style, I think we have one car queuing up. It's AMZ. They're currently negotiating when to enter the zone where they kind of have to prepare themselves for the pre-scrutineering.
So yeah, the sun's currently out in full force. I suspect that the teams that are currently in the queue, they don't really want to go out right now. They'd rather prefer it if they could wait for another 15 minutes for the track to dry some more. Although, the weather here in Valais has always been kind of tricky and unpredictable. We might just see another quick shower of rain. You never know.
And we see the blue flag again approaching. Manheim has to let Insbrook pass. And behind AMZ, I can see the silhouettes of Eslingan.
True, so they don't want to get overtaken in the running order. They don't want to incur out of order penalties. I think it's smart. I think it's just smart to queue up right now. See whether the track dries out some more, whether they can go. And I think the next lap that's coming from Manheim is going to be their last one, or is it just this one already?
What do we think about the track and the weather? I haven't heard anything about the weather yet.
Literally just spoke about the weather 5 seconds ago. Well, to give you an update on the weather compared to my last message, track conditions seem to be staying the same. Track is warming up, the sun's out. There's no better time for having an endurance race than just now.
What I can tell you about the weather is that it's getting really warm up here, which is good.
So to all of the other guys cheering around, please stay hydrated. Please be safe, wear a hat and at least sun cream to protect yourself from a sunburn as the weather's getting better and better now.
Speaking of sunscreen, can we get some more sunscreen here?
And Manheim is entering their last lap. To a round of applause for them. So far it's been smooth sailing for you guys.
I mean, this means we also have the first team who completely finished the flawless endurance. So we
don't jinx them.
Yeah.
Don't jinx them.
Sorry,
it's not
sorry,
done yet.
guys.
We've
Instead
made
of
that mistake
jinxing,
yesterday.
Let's give some final information about Manheim that we received here in the information sheet. For example, this car is their team's first all-wheel drive and the team's first carbon fiber monocoque. I think that's a very great achievement.
Amazing stuff.
And it's actually the 7th car that the team has ever built. Their mascot, they have a mascot, which is very nice, and it's called Kaki the Cactus.
So welcome to the driver chains Insbrook. You made it. The second driver is already prepared with harness, helmet and racing suit. And we will keep you updated. But now we are all focusing on the horizon. Manheim is getting into the last sectors. I don't want to jinx it. So I just tell you what we see. They're now passing the blue sector, getting to the slalom.
It's looking
Flawless slalom so far. And we see the checkered flag ready for Manheim. Please,
Manheim
great welcome.
finishes
Congratulations for finishing the 2025 Endurance of Formula Students Switzerland.
Congratulations to Manheim for
Yes.
finishing endurance. Well done, good job.
Congrats, congrats. And if I can add one very wise sentence that a former colleague of mine always said is to finish first. First you have to finish. And I think we can definitely say that about Manheim.
That's exactly what they're doing.
So far, they're leading the endurance.
You know what I find fascinating also is I think I've never seen a hands device before personally in Formula Student. I love that they're being more prevalent nowadays apparently.
Yeah, when I saw that yesterday, I thought this guy was going to space, but then he told me that it was his hands. So I've never seen it before either.
And I'm sure both of the drivers are happy to have an interview with us after the endurance. But let's keep them in focus because the adrenaline is high. But we see a smiling face under the visor. He's now passing to the left, walking to his teammates, but he's kind of irritated where to go. Yeah, you maybe should stay here for a second. Just wait for the team.
He's totally
They
in
will
the
guide
zone.
you outside.
I can give you a quick update on Manheim. They apparently finished endurance in 2,303 seconds. To be quite honest with you, I don't know whether that's slow or fast. I even don't want to do the calculations in minutes right now, but
Well,
they
it's a
did
good
it.
benchmark for now.
We hear the ready to drive sound, and Insbrook is back on track. Applause and congratulations to the second driver. Welcome for your round on the endurance.
So I think that's definitely now looking more like Podium than Kiesbett, doesn't it?
Definitely. You guys made bold statements to try to dominate the dynamics. I mean, they did not even say they try to, they want to dominate the dynamics. So let's wait and see if they will have a flawless endurance as well as Manheim.
When I actually just found out again about the driver names, and I remember we had it from Hütchen Hannes yesterday already. So today, apparently, the second driver is Cone Killer Pitt.
Killer Pitt sounds intimidating.
Yeah, that's
Do
true.
you think he kills cars?
Well, I hope not. But it would be good to know who is currently in the car. Maybe the guys from CTM can help us. Is it Hütchen Hannes driving, or is it Cone Killer Pitt?
So it apparently is Killer Pitt in the car right now, so
Okay.
Hütchen Hannes is going to come later.
So we see our track marshal is prepared with the sign of last lap, and it will be shown to Mailand. The driver nods. He saw the sign. So welcome on your final lap of the first half for the driver change.
Looking at the times a little bit just now, we see Dynamis and Tirol. They're like 3 laps apart. Dynamis has been taking it a little bit slower on average. They're like right around 80 seconds, where Tirol Motorsports is around 75 seconds per lap. Maybe Dynamis has to be conservative a little bit with their power usage. We're just about to see.
So far, we see some of the scrutineers preparing themselves, so they're expecting Milan to tune in, and also the check and flags is getting prepared. We see Milan in the final sectors passing from the yellowish sector to the blue one. After the blue one, there's only the slalom with the red cones left, but that looks quite smooth, and he's passing into the final sector and final corner, and here we are, welcoming to the driver change. Milan, congratulations for finishing the first half of the endurance.
Quick request to any of the volunteers. Is there anyone who can bring me some sunscreen? That would be highly appreciated, so I don't look like a crap at the award ceremony later. If I ask really kindly, Aaron, maybe you can give it to me.
Our head of dynamics is saving us from skin cancer today. While we have a closer look to the driver's change, Myland, the second driver, already sits within the cockpit. The scrutineers are checking about the suspension close to the tires, having a critical eye, especially about safety reasons. And I see a car on the horizon and a team approaching the dynamics area, which is great to see, while AMZ and Eslingan is still poker on when to enter the dynamics area.
Also, the place where we're sitting actually is quite a good one, because you can see a little bit into the cockpits of the drivers. You see like a fancy 3D printed bracket holding the steering wheel of Milano. Guess that's done for some weight stavings and stiffness. Looks really cool. Also, they have their entire screen for the car on the steering wheel itself, which I think is a rarity among Formula Student teams. I guess it was done so that the screen is never occluded by the hands of the driver. Maybe one of the engineering design judges can help us answer that question.
Technical-wise, it's going to be interesting after Insbrook may finish their endurance if they have a disadvantage of still running on wet tires, as the track is more or less dry again. But we will see that, and there's still Myland in the driver change.
Maybe, while we're waiting for Mala to continue. And we have our head of dynamics here. Let's have a quick interview, don't we?
Do you have some time to spend with us? Great. So maybe can you give us some insight, like, about how you think about your staff, want to cheer for them? Like, they probably put a lot of effort in kind of building up this track. So do you have any lovely comment to tell to your guys on track right now?
Yeah, they did most of the effort went yesterday. When we built up autocross, it was quite a smooth work. We had enough people helping us, which is quite nice. They're all motivated with helping, and some of them even do the extra mile before going to lunch or dinner, which is quite nice. And today they're doing a good job out there. But I hand over the next cars coming on the track.
Thank you for that. And we're excited to see Milano back on track.
Congratulations, you made it through driver's change, and let's wait and see how your endurance will end.
It's also interesting to see that while Tyrol has been faster on track on average generally, the lap times of Dynamis have improved over time, and they're getting close to where Tyrol has been. Although they took a little bit longer for the driver change, although that doesn't really matter for the, well, at least as long as you don't go with the 10 minutes allocated to you, it doesn't matter for your ranking in the endurance event. Still, took them 30 seconds more.
But every second they spend in the driver change, they give the track the chance to dry, and as they're on slicks, this can be an advantage to kind of try to leave the zone as late as possible, don't you think?
I think so, but do you really want to risk incurring penalties or extra time at your driver change if you wait until the last minute? Also, your second driver is in the car, he's probably not getting any less nervous.
But don't underestimate the teams. They often have a timekeeper who will announce it and count it down the final 10 seconds. At least that's what my former team back in the days did. So I would assume that these guys are having an eye on the time.
Did you guys already talk about the technical innovations of Campus Tyrol Motorsport? That's just passed us again. Okay, apparently you have not talked about that yet. So I can tell you something about the technical innovations that car number 77 has for this year. And they told us that they have fully self-developed inverters and the telemetry. They're fully air-cooled. And this is the first year that they're running with a DRS system. So a lot of new innovations. What do you think? How much risk does that bring to the car, Jon?
Well, there's always a balance, right? To be struck, you basically you have to keep improving your car every year, otherwise you just fall behind every other team. On the other hand, bringing something to a track the first time is risky, and I guess it just depends on how well the engineers back at the factory did their job.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know how many of these technical innovations are actually running compared to what was just shown in the engineering design.
Yes, that's a very, very good question. So as we hear some chants from the back.
Which means Mannheim also passed the scrutineering, so their time is officially valid, and they are the first team who finished and have a solid time. We have some shaking hands here.
Okay, so we were just informed that the chanting was maybe just because they were happy being done. The trickiest part, post-scrutineering, is still ahead of them. Right now, the car goes into Park Fermé. It's being pushed back to the hangar where post-endurance inspection can be held.
I feel like by now the track's looking more or less dry, doesn't it? There's like a couple of wet spots.
Yeah, I'm having an eye on AMZ. If they will move, I will give a shout out immediately, because these guys are advanced team. They're all into strategy. I guess they're calculating what time they're kind of waiting for. Also to focus as they're queued up before Eslingan, and they have the slot before them. So we're currently not running out of order, which is great to see.
So we've been talking yesterday about how we probably all of us brought short shorts to this event, and we've never been able to really use them so far. Right now I'm feeling like it's short shorts weather, which again counts as my update on track conditions. Track is warming up, track is drying out, sun is out.
But
Sun's out, fun's out.
these are just feelings. Can you bring some stats to the table about how's the temperature now, the humidity? What are we expecting within the next hour of this endurance?
I can give you that information in a second as I consult our data temperature track conditions dashboard. So coming back with facts and figures on temperature, we're currently at a temperature of 14.8 degrees ambient temperature. We have a little bit of wind coming from the Alps with 6.7 kilometers an hour. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. However, I suddenly see that there's a little bit of rain predicted in the next couple of hours.
So maybe there's a need to change to wet tires, but AMZ doesn't seem to prepare their car to a kind of a tire change so far. So there is a massive likelihood of them pushing into the pre-inspection soon.
Looking at the weather radar, actually, so there's a little bit of rain forecast for today around 12 p.m. a.m. lunchtime. But it looks like it's just going to scrape past of us. Maybe if the wind picks up a little bit, we get some wet weather, but otherwise we're looking good.
So we can see outside of the dynamics area that Manheim is pushing towards the bridge to go back to the event side, entering Park Fermé, and I will keep an eye on that. If someone is coming from the event side and approaching the dynamics areas as soon as we can see it.
And on track, we see Campus Tirol Motorsport continuing what they've been doing so far. Very consistent, very good inside their range that they've ran so far. There's been a little bit of a slow lap on lap 18 where they just ran a 93 seconds. Wonder what happened there.
We see a really positive sign. We see our track marshal handing in the last lap sign. The driver nods. So he got it. He's on his final lap, which means we have another team and a massive likelihood to finish a flawless endurance really soon.
Their second to last lap was again at 77 seconds. So whatever gremlins they had on lap 18 seemed to be fixed, and the car is on its way. Also, Milano has been slowly creeping up to the times of Campus Tirol Motorsports. Their last lap, lap 18, was a 78.3 seconds.
But first they have to finish the endurance and pass all the pre-inspections, so the times are valid and they're really competing against Manheim. We are currently the only team who passed the endurance itself and will be heading to Parc Fermé in this minute. And now we can see a checkered flag. Congrats, Innsbruck. We want to hear some noise from you guys. You finished the endurance.
Job well done.
Shout out to Pitt, you made it. And we're looking forward to see you on the interview stage in a few seconds.
Not sure if he's looking forward to that, but we are.
He's also probably exhausted. Staying concentrated for that long of a time, making sure you don't hit any cones, that must take its toll. And the sunscreen has finally been delivered to us, so we're now safe from the sun too. Like the worst thing I think the biggest risk as a commentator sitting here that could happen to you is that you slowly start to turn the color of one of the cones in front of us, which we've almost avoided so far. There's been some minor accidents along the way.
Not sure what you're talking about. But
I
maybe
have
Sarah knows
no
more.
clue. I have no clue. I mean, I'm obviously a really wildish girl, so it was only a matter of 1 hour standing in the sun organizing your team picture, which will be published by tonight. So yeah, I think it was worth it.
Oh, do we have a track marshal? Okay, in case of doubt for the teams, as we were just informed, the first driver will perform 12 laps, while the second driver will perform 11 laps. So don't be confused, this is all correct.
And we have an official announcement which was just published. The track is officially dry, guys. So looking to AMZ, if this is the news you guys were waiting for to enter, but there's still no movement. So it's all about the strategy. I can see some laptops running and Eslingan still behind. So yeah, still just one car on track.
I think if you'd still had your wet weather tires on right now is the moment. Now you probably should think about taking them off.
But now we see AMZ moved to the pre-inspection. Probably that was the call they needed to come.
It looks like both teams have changed their tires.
I mean, they did not change, and particularly both came with slicks. The only team running on wet tires were Innsbruck, which had an incredible timing. So from now point of view, it wasn't a disadvantage, but let's wait and see at the official dry kind of track if AMZ and Esling can beat that time of Innsbruck.
To be fair, Innsbruck just is currently the fastest team that has finished endurance. Maybe wet weather tires are the way to go in Switzerland. You never know.
I mean, maybe it's a special developed wet tire just for the team. Most of the teams are sponsored by a tire manufacturer, but we don't know it that deep. So Esling also pushed through the gates, which means they indicate that they're ready for pre-inspection, so there is no turning back.
So as Milano is coming up to us, which lap are they on right now? They are currently on lap 22, which means that this is actually their last lap. Again, yesterday we've been good with jinxing cars. We're not going to say anything. It looks promising. And as they make their way to the back of the track, I wonder whether the driver will miss FS Switzerland, whether the driver will miss the track being in the car on this beautiful airfield, in this beautiful weather, in the beautiful Swiss mountains.
For the last lap, we can use the time to give a shout out that Dynamis wanted to give to their technical director, Martin Bodogna. I hope that was pronounced correctly. And the backstory apparently is that this guy, Martin, has dreamed of being a firefighter since he was a child. And this year, due to his responsibility role, he performed a firefighting course. So please shout out to Martinho Nino Nino.
And guys, we want to hear your voices, because the checkered flag is ready. The car is passing the final course. Congratulations to car number 90 for passing a flawless endurance and FS Switzerland in 2025.
Congratulations to Milano. Looking at the times, Milano currently 20 seconds slower than Campus Tirol Motorsports.
So from now on, we have a podium.
We do.
Can you please repeat for the people who just turned in what's happened in the past hour?
Absolutely. So right now, actually, 3 out of 4 teams that have run endurance have finished. We were talking this morning how likely it is that everyone's going to finish endurance so far. Track record.
That's a very good ratio, actually.
Yeah.
Positively surprised. Hopefully this streak will continue as we have. Do we have only 2 cars remaining?
Yeah. And now, welcome on track, car number 33, AMZ, and welcome to the Formula Student Switzerland Endurance in 2025.
Do you think AMZ has a slight advantage because this is kind of their home race?
I mean, you jinxed it. It was the first car in the second corner of this track. So let's wait and see. But maybe they got the rules right that they should definitely not catch them all. But let's wait and see.
So provisional podium right now is Campus Tirol Motorsports in first place, Dynamis PRC in second, and Cure Manheim in third. Again, as we say these results, these are just the times. No cones have been factored in so far. And I can tell you a little bit of a secret. We had a look at the overall championship of Formula Student Switzerland yesterday evening. And there's one thing we can tell you. It's very close up front.
That
and
was
now
a quick start from
welcome
Eslingan.
to the track, Eslingan. They just kind of passed the first 2 corners. AMZ collected 2 cones. So we have now 2 cars running on track, which is very nice. But from now on, we will keep an eye on it. Gerike, can you tell us more facts about your former team?
Yes, let me double check what they have sent us in the team introduction form. So their technical innovations. I think I need some support here from you guys. But the Esslingen team has a microtube's heat exchanger. They developed new inverters and they improved the brake system. What do you think about the risk to the car from these changes?
So brakes are always good to have.
That's true. And I heard that Esslingen had some problems with braking last year, so good that they worked on that.
But if you brake, you lose. So
Yeah. No, and there's one thing that we always kind of forget during the endurance race. There's another competition going on at the same time, which is the efficiency score. And it doesn't just matter to go fast. Of course, it's good if you go fast, but you're also supposed to use as little energy as possible. And I suppose self-developed inverters, they're definitely, or upgraded inverters, are definitely something that helps with that. So maybe this is Esslingen's year. Who knows? I can also give you a quick update on the timesheets. AMZ Racing, their first lap out, was the fastest of the endurance so far with 71.55 seconds. And Esslingen on their first lap was just a little bit slower with 74.13 seconds. Nevertheless, those are very promising lap times. And I think, again, thinking back to the overall championship, this is a tight race and we're ready for it.
and as you already kind of gave a small sneak peek into the overall scoring, now this is crucial kind of because these positions, of course, they are separately scored, but in the overall scoring, it's really critical that all the teams are making
Here too.
That's true. Again, shout out to Kit for coming to Prom Racing Switzerland 2026. We're waiting for you. Do you want to know some more about the Esslingen drivers? Because I have some more information that we haven't shared yet. But before we'll talk, that actually Prom Racing is coming to the queue. They will be running out of order, but they will be running. So that's very exciting as well, which means that after those two cars, the Esslingen and the AMZ car hopefully finished their endurance, that won't be the last car on track.
But that's great to hear, because yesterday we were really much worried about what happened to Prom Racing as they weren't able to compete, and one of the most important side quests on this event, the Cheese Award, so they unfortunately got disqualified for not showing up. But it's really great that they used the time of not competing at this event for kind of preparing their car to be able to drive on track during the endurance in 2025 Former Student Switzerland.
Okay. Do you want to give an update on the times?
Update on the times, yes, of course. Esslingen finished another very fast lap with a 68.7 seconds. Not as quick, half a second slower than the previous one, but nevertheless, very solid lap. As we see AMZ Racing crossing the start-finish line again and setting also another personal best of a 68.44 seconds.
Okay, since the situation has settled a bit, let's come back to the drivers that are currently on track. We've received information from both teams, Esslingen and AMZ, about their drivers. So for AMZ, I'm not too sure who is currently driving because we've received 4 names, but it should be either Noah, Keanu, Boris, or Luan. And no matter what, they're all great team players, and they would share the cones they collect. Isn't that nice?
That's very cute of them.
That's
Do
true.
you think they have a little cabinet where they put all their cones?
That would be nice. I can actually tell you from Esslingen that we have like a cabinet, it's the Wall of Shame, where we collect all parts that led to failure at the car. So maybe AMZ has something similar.
And we hear a little bit of cheering to our right, which means Esslingen has set another purple lap.
Speaking of Esslingen, let's talk about their drivers. They told us themselves that they have the ugliest drivers. Well, we can't really judge that, but we'll just give that to you guys. And the endurance is started the first driver, who's the junior driver, and it continues with the blind driver. All drivers are kobolds, though. I'm very much excited to see how the blind driver will perform.
Well, is he running right now, the blind one?
No, he's running later.
Okay, because otherwise I would have said, well, he did great so far. purple laps after purple laps. However, purple lap has just been taken away from Eslingan to AMZ Racing with a 66.8 seconds.
It's getting intense here.
Guys, there's no need to over-dramatic the stuff before we finish the final lap. I want to remember you because I've been the bad example in the past. Don't jinx it. We keep an eye on the track because these are the facts we can currently see, so no speculations, please.
I'd love to speculate though. Should we have a bet on who's faster endurance?
We could actually. I mean, positions are clear, aren't they?
I'm still waiting for a cookie from yesterday.
That's true. But if I win this bet, then we're equal.
All right.
So it's again a cookie.
I don't know. Do you want to ask the neutral party on what the bet should be about?
I mean, Bern was outstanding in their cookie performance, so maybe that would be a great deal that the winner of this challenge has to be provided with some Bern cookies, and it's up to the one who loses to get them received. And we got some news from our head of dynamics.
Yes, but let's first finalize on the bet. But I think we're good, aren't we?
Good, yeah.
Okay. Let's go, Eslingan. Make me proud.
Hands were officially shaken. So, Eslingan, you have one on your side, and AMZ, you have another moderator on your side, and I keep remaining neutral to keep an eye on the real competition which is going on.
Yes, and now I can share the news that the head of dynamics has just told us. That is actually that it's allowed to push the car on track for the teams that did not pass scrutineering directly after the endurance. So all teams that are interested to push their car on track, they can't start later than 10 minutes after the last car of the endurance was on track. There are as many people as possible allowed on track, as long as dynamic team vests are available. So if you're interested in pushing your car around the endurance track, come over to the start line.
That's quite a new concept to have like a physical dynamics here on ground, but we will see which team has the more fittest team, and we get the insight that probably the cars are getting closer to each other's, or is this just something we can see from that perspective and it's totally false? But is AMZ catching up with Esling right now?
Looking at the times, it doesn't seem that way. They're pretty much matched on time, as we see a cone being hit by Renstal Esslingen. Almost took out the time, the light barrier for timekeeping. Maybe they want to keep their lap times secret? So on the last two laps, we have AMZ with a 67 and Esslingen with a 68. It looks like at the start of the endurance, the timings were a bit flipped the other way. Now it's turning back. It's staying interesting, and we'll keep you posted.
And while we're waiting for further information or kind of some on-track accidents or happenings, we want to thank all of our sponsors.
There's no accidents in Formula Student Switzerland.
No accidents. This is a totally safe competition here, guys. No worries. We want to thank all our volunteers who made this event possible. And if you guys want to join us on the stuff side next year, because we have a lot of roles you could cover. Oh dear. Oh dear. That did not sound great. And we see a waving yellow flag towards AMZ as Esslingen had to stop on track after hitting a bump.
I hear attractive system active sound though.
And
the
we're
car's
back
running slowly.
The
Yes.
there. Congratulations.
Good job, guys.
Welcome back. And now
close
it's
now
racing.
it's close. Now we
Now
go
racing.
racing. Will AMZ be able to catch up with Essling? We're keeping an eye on that. While AMZ is pushing hard to get on the back of Esslingen. Will they be able to catch up? The track marshals are having a close eye on that, because as soon as it's getting too tight, there will be a blue flag. But
I'm confident that Esslingen will stay in front of AMZ.
Yeah.
we will not rely on feelings, guys. Please check the facts.
AMZ had to slow down quite a bit because Esslingen was stranded. There was a yellow flag there.
That's all part of the strategy, I guess.
Do you think that's fair?
I mean, maybe this is just for us, for our entertainment, to make this endurance more thrilling. because we see one of the track marshals actually preparing himself for the last lap sign.
It's AMZ Racing coming up to their final lap of this competition. Not of this competition, sorry, for the first driver only.
Don't make it shorter than it is.
And now we see the last lap sign shown to AMZ, which means that if AMZ will keeps up with Esling, they even overtook them.
Also, looks like Esslingen recovered very well from their brief stoppage. Just after that, they set a new personal best with a 67.26 seconds. So
that's a high bar for this.
Doesn't seem like the driver's too worried.
Yeah, that's true, and that's a high bar for the second driver, who I can just see is getting ready for the driver change. And I think that's now the blind driver. So we're very excited to see how many cones he actually sees.
Does he work like a bat? He clicks his mouth and he hears where the cones are.
I heard that he actually got glasses. It only took him like a couple of years to get glasses, but since they don't really fit under the helmet, he prefers to drive without glasses.
I mean, maybe he's not scared of the track if he's barely able to see it. That can also be advantage. So now we see AMZ crossing the slalom and the final corners. And also Essling's getting the final lap. And now there's the check and flag. So welcome to the driver change. AMZ, congratulations for the first driver to finish his part of the endurance of Former Student Switzerland 2025. And we see, and we're looking for the driver change, and soon to have two cars just in front of us.
And Esslingen, undeterred by their stoppage, just set a new purple lap with a 66.2 seconds.
That's what Esslingen does when the track is free and there's no slow car in front of them.
Now we have the second driver of AMZ Racing getting into the car. I know for a fact that this is Boris. He's been with the team for 6 years now. He knows what he's doing.
So as we have the cars close to our eyes now, we see the back of this car is rather sticky less, which means other teams are probably highly welcome to bring their team stickers to kind of get united with the car. And we see the check and flag for car number 94, Esslingen. Welcome to the driver change. You made it to the first half of the endurance of Former Student Switzerland of 2025.
That's going to promise some really close racing for the second half of this endurance, doesn't it?
It's going to be amazing. I love it. Do you think when you park your car as a driver next to the car of your biggest rival for this race, do you stare at them menacingly?
I think they're so in their tunnel that they don't stare at anything. But we can maybe ask the drivers a bit later once they're calmed down a bit.
Maybe there's a bit of strategy going on there, right? You want to make them a bit more nervous?
But look at this, both beauties, and also the back of the Esslingen car is nearly sticking less, which means also other teams could put their little tag on there. But both cars are manufactured from carbon fiber. You can see that quite well. While Esslingen prefers the spread toe, we see a different kind of form of carbon fiber manufactured with this chassis of AMZ. It's quite nice to see the cars that close and into details. Also, we can see the little bubbles running around in the system.
Can give you a little bit of information on those two types of carbon fiber that you mentioned. The one on the left is called spread tau, which is usually a bit more lightweight but less strong. And on the right we have twill weave for AMZ Racing. Again, I guess it's a matter of preference, aesthetics, and also design. Of course, you want to make your car as light and as strong as possible.
And we just heard the ready to drive zone. So welcome back on track. AMZ made it through the driver change. Welcome driver number 2 in car 33.
And he's off.
And he made it through the first corners without any cones.
Which is better already than his predecessor. And Esslingen is also getting started.
Good job to both teams for performing the driver change.
So the race is on again. And we're having a turn our shoulders back to the paddock because we see our dear team from Athens approaching the fences.
Looks like they're going to be running. It seems promising.
That's quite early, guys. Like, don't you want to wait for half an hour more just to be quite as tight as possible as you did in the past? Changing your strategy on the last day, that's brave, but maybe this is related to the temperature dropping, because more clouds are approaching. Maybe they want to be quicker than on the last days.
Speaking of the weather, pretty good that we put sunscreen on now that the sun's gone and it looks more again like it's raining.
But guys, this is just a false impression. The UV score is still up high and it's able to pass the clouds. So even if you feel a bit chilly, put your sunscreen on and wear ahead. We don't want to see all the crabs or kind of lobsters staring at us at the award ceremony. It's efficient if it's just me and myself and I. So let's keep an eye on what's happening in the paddock. We can't see a movement yet, but we will keep you posted. And welcome to all the live streams who just turned up. We're literally in the end of the Endurance of Formula Student Switzerland 2025. As we have 2 cars running on track. They just passed the driver change and we have only 1 car left who is queuing up but not entered the dynamics area. So as soon as they will enter or kind of cross the barriers of the fences, there's no turning back for adjustments and they will have to face the scrutinies for pre-inspection. Hallo Welt. So we have a question from Joshua Baums or more facts to approve. Like Formula Student Switzerland is now in their 5th season, of course, but it's the 4th season on like solid ground. The first season, as you maybe remember, was during COVID, so it was an only online event. So, I mean, both of you guys who are discussing within the chat are basically right. Next year, we're going to have our anniversary of having Formula Student Switzerland of 5 years on the ground of Groms, Nordisch Centrum. Thank you at this point for being able to host us and all our other sponsors like Glencore to making this event monetary possible. I mean, you guys are not sitting where I am, but the tension on my left and on my right is getting higher as they're both focusing on the times. It's quite intense to see your former team kind of battling against each other. So it's quite a coincidence that these guys are sitting right next to me, because that wasn't as planned as it maybe seems to be. So guys, what are the tendencies now?
Well, as much as it pains me to say, Eslingan is faster at the moment by about a second a lap. So there's still all to play for, I guess, drive for even.
To distract you maybe from the pain that Eslingan is faster than AMZ for right now, do we want to talk about the team mascots? Pretty sure you have some insights on
I'd love to hear
AMZ's
the
team
team
mascots. Because as far as I know, it's Greggy the cat.
Who?
Greggy the cat.
The cat.
Yeah, that's what they told us.
So is he guarding the workshop?
Sorry?
Is he guarding the workshop or something?
Yeah, it just didn't leave the workshop anymore. That's what they said us.
That's really cool, though. I guess, well, if you have to take out a lint roller every time you want to get into the car to get all the cat hair out of the driver's chair, that's maybe a bit of a disadvantage. But maybe in a few years they can build a new cat from it.
Yeah, okay, that's cute. I feel like we have a lot of animals here as mascots, don't we?
We do. We also have a lot of animals as junior teams.
That's true. But do you want to know something about the Eslingan mascot? I'm actually not sure if it's really a mascot,
Is it
but
an animal?
the Eslingan guys submitted their mascot, which is called Echsenmensch. I'll translate this for you. It's basically a lizard human, and that's a guy who basically eats oats without milk. So he just eats dry oats. That's why he's called the lizard human. Have you ever tried oats without milk?
I can say that I fortunately never had the chance to. I don't know. Maybe that's like a well-balanced diet for a Formula student car. Maybe you can laminate carbon fiber better if you just your diet consists of oats.
You might be right.
Maybe it's to lose weight to be faster as a driver, because I see that Eslingan just did a 65.9 new purple.
Is that a new purple?
It is.
And they're both
Love to
on
hear
their
that.
18th lap overall. So there are only few laps left. And please, guys, especially to the AMZ and Rennstall team, give us a short and loud applause when your car will pass to the last lap. So we want to hear you guys that you're here on track supporting this tight race between you both cars, because the tension between my co-moderators are getting higher and higher, and I can barely feel the tension coming from the teams. So guys, make some noise when we're on the final lap.
You almost could think that this was the last lap for Rennstall, when it was in fact not. They're both on lap 19 right now. Last lap, 1 second apart.
They're getting closer, if I see correctly.
They are. They're both going around the same corner so far. All of them have more or less managed that tricky chicane when we yesterday in autocross saw a bunch of cars spin out. They have so far managed it perfectly well.
And I haven't seen too many cones on either of the cars, did you?
No,
Even though we don't have a
haven't.
complete overview, but
No, we don't have an overview, and that's what it makes interesting, because the time might be better, but the track marshals are counting the codes, and we are even the ones who will get the information after the race, after they pass the scrutineering. So it's not a safe call to say that if a team has the fastest lap, that they will have the first place on the podium.
And it's a new purple lap for Eslingan. Again, 65.7 seconds.
that's purple after purple after purple.
It is.
Good job, guys.
Taking a look to the AMZ guys. I hope they still have some assets to deliver here.
It's not over until it's over, I guess.
I mean, having a home race, literally, and being defeated by a German team, that would make me feel a bit uncomfortable, but we will have a look at that.
I thought it was, you were the neutral one here.
I'm glad that you said that, and it wasn't me.
I want to kind of create some tension here, because
It's okay, it's not over until it's over, and we will see at the award ceremony. As AMZ Racing crosses the line for the next time, let's see whether they can catch up with Eslingan. And it's a new personal best, 66.8 seconds. It's not quite purple and not quite as fast as Esling, but they're getting closer.
I really do appreciate that you both are still kind of admiring the times of the other team. That's about sportsmanship that we want to see.
Yes, that's kind of the spirit of Formula Student, right? We mentioned it at the start with Bern, who unfortunately did not finish their endurance. We just want to see as many fast cars on track as possible, and that's basically the idea and goal behind Formula Student.
Yes, and maybe if the drivers are just currently in a kind of a competition situation, as soon as they will leave the track, they will probably shake hands and congratulate each others on the great performance. And it's rarely that a team develops a rivalry which is long-lasting under one event. So we hope there will be a good relationship afterwards between AMZ and Rennstall Esslingen.
Usually it is, right? You race yourself as hard as possible on the track, then you get out, you have the award ceremony, and then you're probably going to have a beer with your friends from the other teams, which makes this thing what it is, and it's so special and so amazing that it is the way it is.
Talking about rivalry, I'm here to serve you with another interesting fact, because we asked the teams, which team do you think is the most underrated at this event? And interestingly, Renstal has Renstal has told us that they think that AMZ is the most underrated team at this event, while AMZ has told us that CTM is the most underrated team at this event.
So guys, we trained for this. It's not a drill. Our track marshal is preparing himself with the sign of the final lap. I want to hear you guys. The car's first approaching is AMZ. So AMZ, make some noise while your driver is passing to his final lap on the Endurance 2025 Formula in Switzerland. Where are you? And followed by Renstal Esling. I want to hear some noise. Okay. I'm dearly sorry for being the one who breaking it for you, but Swiss people definitely have to train on their cheering. Like, that was impressive, outstanding work from Eslingan. And we see the checkered flag is preparing himself to get to the finish line.
I actually have some shaky hands because it's so exciting.
Are you nervous?
Yes, I am, but positively nervous. And now you're also standing up. That doesn't make it any better.
Okay, let's go sit back down.
I want to take a look at what's happening with Athens. If they will wait until the cars will finish, or if they will start. But no, that seems like they want to see the race come on.
Both cars are approaching the final part of this endurance.
So guys, AMZ, welcome to the check and flag. They're passing the pass. Congratulations for finishing the Endurance 2025 in Switzerland. And welcome also to the start finish line, Eslingan. Congratulations.
Nice, well done. And I'm sad to announce that I have to organize some cookies.
I'm very happy about that. Thank you guys from Eslingan for saving my cookie. Good job to both teams. You finished the endurance.
And now, full focus, and please highly welcome to the track our final team of today, Prom Racing team from Athens. That was intense.
Yes. Well done. After the trials and tribulations of the past few days, we have Prom Racing on track. And actually, let me go talk to some of their team members real quick. Hey guys, how does it feel to see your car on track right now?
Okay, we are so happy. We didn't believe we are actually here. We don't believe we are actually here today. We are so happy for our car, and we wish to finish the endurance.
We hope that for you guys too. It was really close yesterday. Something wasn't quite right with your car. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
No, everything was perfect. But we like to make an entrance, so that's why we came last second.
That's perfect. So, all the best of luck. Anything you want to say to the people watching the live stream?
We are so happy to be here. It's our first time in Switzerland, and the fact that we right now are running the endurance and finish all the dynamic events is so important to us. It's the best way to enter the new season.
That it is. So fingers crossed for you guys. Let's hope you do well.
It's quite impressive that you guys are even louder cheering than the Eslingan guys. So it's really cool that also other former teams like are still watching on track, and thank you for all the teams who prepared their self a home on the side of the dynamics area, cheering for everyone and staying focused, because we are still going on with the endurance race of Formula Students Switzerland. To the people who just turned in by now, I mean, you have luck. There's still one car on track driving. You nearly kind of missed the most of the thrilling announcements. We started in the morning really early with Manheim, who passed a flawless endurance and are at Park for me currently, followed by Prom Racing team, who unfortunately had to retire the car after the driver changed. Afterwards, we welcomed Insbrook to the track, who also were able to finish the endurance race without any further problems. And just a few minutes ago, our two teams, Rennstall Esslingen and AMZ, also crossed the finish line and are now heading to the post-inspection in Park Fermé. And we will keep you updated on current updates if we get a notification from the Park Fermé.
But that actually means that 5 out of 6 cars have finished the endurance in more or less the first event of this Formula Student season, isn't it?
Exactly. And almost all of the cars that entered endurance finished it.
That's
Promising.
amazing,
It's
yeah.
really cool.
And sorry for forgetting, of course there was Milan as well, who also had a flawless endurance. So we're now at the counter of 6 cars. And afterwards, don't kind of hesitate to stay on the live stream, because we announced that also the teams who were not able to drive the car are allowed to push the car, but we just got the notification from our head of dynamics that there's no chance. Okay. Unfortunately, there will be no team who will kind of compete in the physical endurance. So unfortunately, we're going to close this session after Athens passed, but now just focus on what's currently happening. Athens is still going strong on track. They're in their 3rd lap currently. So maybe you can give us some update about the timing, John.
Well, they did 2 laps so far, 84 and 87 seconds. Drivers still finding their groove a little bit, but it looks solid. It looks on point. And they're actually currently comparable to the times Byrne was setting just before they unfortunately had to stop. And one last little tidbit. The race before that between Esslingen and Zurich, that was so close. In the end, Esslingen was just 2 seconds faster across the entirety of the endurance, which I think I couldn't imagine anything better for an endurance race. 2 teams that are matched so close just at the front. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, and keep in mind that Esslingen had stopped for a couple of seconds already. So if without that stop, that gap would have been even bigger.
Guys,
What do you
this
say about
is
that?
This is just a speculation. We should not start there. What if would have happened? Like, we could all discuss, like, also what would have happened if the driver yesterday ate too much cheese. So
Or
there is
oats
no
with
need
milk?
to discuss what have happened if Essling did not stop.
It's actually a good question, though. Like, if you eat too much cheese before a race, does it make you faster?
I mean, physically, you would gain weight, which would mean that the car would be likely to slow down. So I guess all the drivers have a potty stop before they enter the cockpit, but I don't know. We should have asked the driver, but currently we can't see one standing close to the fences to ask if he goes to the ladies or the demands before he enters the cockpit.
Well, also maybe if you're running endurance and you have to go to the bathroom real quick, then you might just drive a little bit faster.
That's true.
As we see another lap from Athens completed, unfortunately playing the role of a lawnmower a little bit, but still going strong.
But the overall target or aim is to finish the endurance, and like I think that's a quite achievement for the team if they are able to pass until the drivers change and having a flawless endurance, so no matter how many cones they are collecting on their way.
Exactly. To finish first you have to finish.
A wise man once said.
Or woman, I don't actually know.
It's probably a man. Like, motorsports is unfortunately still dominated by men, so the likelihood of getting wise words is probably a white male person on television.
Chances are. Maybe they could like cut a slice off a Formula Student, because acceleration events are like a female-dominated event.
I'm not quite sure at which acceleration at Formula Student Switzerland you have been, but there was only one female driver compared to like 6 or 7 guys. But I mean, I love your attitude. I mean, you're sitting here with 2 representatives of the female community of Formula Students, so maybe your view is kind of biased. But I'm sorry for break it to you. We are still a minority, but we're always looking forward to see female members, because we kind of unite We know it can be a tough industry, but we're here and taking our place, and we deserve to be here.
Yeah, maybe just sitting next to the two of you has been skewing my view for a bit, as I feel a little drop of rain on my face. Is it starting to rain again?
Well, you are the weather frog, so you should probably know that.
Yeah.
And you should stop relying on your feelings. Tell us facts. This is a fact-based competition, please.
I'm not going to say what I just wanted to say just now. So the internet confirms what I've been feeling. It's starting to rain.
So maybe then we just move back like about 30 centimeters to be underneath. Oh, now I can share your feelings. Like, okay. But I'm into facts, so I prefer facts instead of feelings, guys. So let's move maybe 1.5 meter back to sit underneath our little rooftop.
Let's do that. We're just way too sweet to be left out in the rain.
So we see Athens still going strong. I mean, at this moment, I think the driver also figured out how this kind of corner works at
As
the
he
start
touches the
thing line.
corner.
Oh,
Stop
man,
jinxing drivers, god damn it.
I'm not quite sure if I have a direct line to them. It's maybe my mentally vibration skills. But
I thought we're talking about facts, not feelings here.
I love the tension between us three. We should definitely hang out more. But now we see Athens getting to the final sector, so they're on their way back in a few minutes. Looking left and right, all the other teams are starting to share our feelings that the weather is changing. We see some umbrellas turning up. Oh, there's a lovely pink one. Rarely to see at a Formula Student team.
Yeah, I love it.
But Prom is standing strong, keeping their eyes locked on their car, which is magnificent to see your support here on track. And also the other teams standing across the dynamics area, don't hesitate. They are resting, they are prepared with tents, umbrellas, and of course rain jackets. So it's really great to see that even if the weather conditions are changing, we are still supporting and having an overview about our final team on track, which are heading on track and hopefully past to the driver's change soon. So at this point of the stream, we of course want to thank our friends and hosts of today, Campus Tirol Motorsports, who are hosting this live session on their channel. So check out their further social channels and leave some comments and likes and share some digital love to them, as well as our sponsors. Thank you, Glencore, the Nordisch Zentrum Groms, and our further sponsor for helping us to make this event possible. We do appreciate all the effort you put in here as well. Last but not least, thank you to all the volunteers working in the back and in the front of this event. You are making all of this possible, and we are really proud on you that you're able to keep up this good work through the years. And of course, guys, if you want to kind of join us next year on the staff side to get more information how to organize a Formula Student event, how we are kind of scoring the overall dynamics or even the statics, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on our website. You will find a contact form and how to get in contact with the relevant person. So we are always looking forward to seeing new members in the upcoming season.
We're always looking for volunteers, of course. And as Sarah said before, if you're maybe have enough of building cars and just want to see them race, come join us at Formula Student Switzerland.
So don't get a false impression. Our co-host is just heading to the loo, and our dear gossipy moderator also needs to prepare other and further stuff for the award ceremony. So you have to rely on me for some minutes, but I will be your eyes and ears about what's happening on and off track. Wird vor allem während Prom Racing fährt gerade noch nicht noch ein anderes Team wieder machen. Das hat mir gestern oder vorgestern was passiert. Prom Endurance nicht so schlimm, weil da bestimmt, da geht's länger. So unfortunately, we kind of see a tendency of Prom Racing about the first corner after the starting finish line. It's kind of also like a consistency of collecting these cones, but I mean, there's still hope for this driver as he has to remain few laps as well as the second driver. If we look at the paddock, we can't see him yet, but probably he also has an eyes on the work of his colleague to see how the corners at the start and finish line are working. So maybe we will see an improvement on that at this point. This is not part of the competition, guys. This is not the cookie.
This is just a pre-cookie.
Okay.
In the meantime, while we have the last car on track, let's see what they have sent us for their team introduction. They wanted to give a shout out to their whole team, because without each and every one of them, that journey wouldn't mean a thing. So in the name of Prom Racing, to the team, thank you for the laughs, the late nights, the breakdowns, mechanical and emotional ones, and the memory, because this team is what made it all worth.
So we have a lot of teams actually cheering to each others, which is so nice to see that you guys use the chance to kind of get connected to each others and build some relationships who will probably be an advantage for the upcoming events which you are facing in the next couple of weeks. Oh, we see a tendency. He looked at me and we both nodded. We know what this is all about. Our track marshal, he has the sign. It's written on it, last lap. Guys, we had the drill with AMZ and Eslingan, so please tell me you're still here. Make some noise when your driver will pass to his final lap. And now we can actually see the second driver preparing himself for getting into the cockpit. Guys, this is quite intense and so nice to see that you're around and cheering for you. So we will keep silent until we see the car coming through the final sectors. So we're getting ready, guys. Please raise your voice. Your car just turned into the final corners. Make some noise. He's on his final lap now. Show some support.
Into the driver change goes Athens.
And this worked.
That
was the first time he did not catch a cone in the first corner. Great. You should have cheered early on.
Wasn't that supposed to be the last lap for Athens?
It's the last lap for this driver.
For this driver, yeah.
And
this one is in.
If you take a closer look to the right-hand side, you see the second driver already preparing himself to get into the driver change.
I figure you don't want to spend too much time outside in the rain in your racing suit.
But I can remember one team who did the rain test even with the driver sitting in the cockpit. So
that's true. Do you remember which team that was?
I think it was Insbrook, but I'm not quite confident with this fact.
Maybe it was just hot outside and he wanted to cool off a little.
Maybe he was so nervous and not familiar with the regulations that he doesn't have to sit in the car, but we don't need a cold shower.
Maybe he was using his body to cover the battery from water.
Getting a special award for hottest driver on the grid. So we see Athens on the horizon, passing the blue sector, turning into the slalom, which is running smoothly, no cones so far. So we see the final corners. Guys, please cheer for your driver. Passing. Congratulations for passing the first half of the endurance to car number 25. Welcome to the driver change. You made it.
And Prom Racing is into the driver change. The car has just stopped, and the driver is getting ready to get out of the car. Congratulations again.
And it's so nice also to see the inside of the rear wing, to see some other team stickers. EPFL Racing and Bern already took their spot, as well as two other teams, but I can't recognize the stickers of them. But so cool to see.
The yellow one is the E-Eagle team, isn't it?
Probably.
It looks like it.
I mean, we don't have any other yellowish branded team on this event side, so probably E-Eagles.
I think it's always a bummer. I want to see more yellow teams on the track.
No, they haven't been here, but they have been on the skid pad.
It's true, yeah, with a very fast manual lap.
They were the only junior team to attend on the skid pad and won it, so maybe we will see if they got it to the award ceremony tonight.
If you want to see all the past action that's been happening at Formula Student Switzerland, you can always catch it also after it's been happening on the live streams of Campus Tirol Motorsports, which are very graciously hosting us today. So shout out to them.
And also thank you to all our sponsors making this event possible. Thanks you for Glencore, our Nordisch Zentrum Groms, who are hosting us literally on site, and to all the further ones kind of helping us to make this possible. Thank you to Keller Feuerliche Service Center, where we got our fire safety training, computer controls, AKZ, R2F, Lieber, Pushing Performance, Isabellenhütte und Torex. Kannst du noch rüberlaufen und dem Bescheid sagen, dass der Strom hier ausgefallen ist? Der nicht, aber der von den Jungs.
And I will use the time for the driver change to quickly say goodbye from my side for this endurance event. As Sarah said before, I need to get working on the award ceremony later. So it was a pleasure for me hosting this session with you guys. I hope you enjoyed us talking more or less good and bad and interesting and boring stuff. But yeah, Sarah will stay with you as well as Jon. But for me, it's a goodbye and see you later. Have a nice day and speak soon.
Thank you, Rike. And we're having a closer eye on what's happening in the driver change. The rain is drizzling down so far, but not that much, so the conditions on track are still considered to be dry. We see that the second driver just connected his steering wheel so far. Sometimes some team members are standing with, in my view, so please bear with me while I'm waiting for listening to the ready to drive sound and see that the scrutineers are giving a sign that everything is fine from their side. And welcome back on track. The second driver of NTU Athens just approached, and he did a smooth first corners. Great work.
Guys pushing hard. I hear tires screaming. I hear the floor of the car scraping the ground. That makes for exciting racing, does it?
Yeah, let's wait and see if they can improve their time. So maybe that was part of the strategy, that they got the first driver just getting in some solid times, and now they have the more advanced and riskier driver on track.
So, I'm back finally, somewhere where it doesn't rain. Athens still going strong. I'll give you an update on their timing real quick. I can also give you an update on the weather. It's raining.
But the track is still considered to be dry. As soon as we will get an official update on the weather conditions on track, we will keep you posted. That was an impressive cornering skill.
And also setting the new personal best for Prom Racing with, I don't want to say it, but it was 12 seconds faster than the last lap of the previous driver.
So there must be a strategy behind when which driver is attending the endurance for sure. But we have a few laps to go.
If he keeps pushing like that, he's almost in the range that Tirol Motorsport was setting in terms of times. That driver's fastest lap was just 1 second slower than the fastest lap of Campus Tirol Motorsports. If they keep it up like this, we might be in for an exciting finish.
And if you compare it to the other kind of fastest personal bests of the other teams, there are also only a few seconds remaining to the best time of Milano, which is lovely to see that even if the car wasn't kind of more problematic in the past, or kind of, I mean, they made it to all the competitions, but quite in tight timing. But they're ready to compete against all the other teams who are kind of more focusing and present at the event.
Again, with a lot of wheel spin out of the first corner. I love to see that.
We already see the gravel on track. Now you see his ID line and how tight he is to the inside cone, but he never barely touched it.
Yeah. Also, I think there needs to be some screaming tires, otherwise the racing is not quite as exciting. So Prom Racing delivering on their promise as usual to at least be an exciting team.
Yeah, please gather all together on the fence to make a little cheering family picture. Your driver will be happy to receive that afterwards.
And we still have some spectators left also at the other side of the track. They brought their own tent, although not all of them do have space under it. They're getting a little bit wet right now, but still. And that's the next lap done.
I wish you could hear that on the live stream, how this team is supporting their driver on every single lap. They're cheering loud as Esling did for the final lap of their second driver. So this is magnificent to see that they're sending their support to every single lap to their drivers.
Ooh, I hear some tire screaming again. They actually, in their second lap, improved their fastest time down to 74.7 seconds, which makes them just 0.6 seconds slower than the best lap of Campus Tirol Motorsports.
But there's still a high potential to improve yourself, guys. No worries, you have a couple of laps left. And, I mean, the overall goal is to finish the endurance. We can shortly recap what happened for all the people who just turned in. There's only one car left on track in the running order. It's Athens. They're actually running out of order, which is totally fine as we had a couple of minutes left for them. In the beginning of the day, we started with Cure Manheim. They finished first and they are currently in the Parc Fermé, followed by Insbrook as well as Milano. Unfortunately, Bern weren't able to finish the endurance. They had to retire the car after the driver changed. And afterwards, we had a great race between AMZ and Esling, who are quite close to each others. So all of these teams are now in Park Formé for post-inspection, and we will get some notification about the cones afterwards. So there's still going to be some surprises likely for the award ceremony. And the only remaining team left is Athens, which are currently in the 17th overall lap.
Must feel amazing as a driver whenever you cross the start and finish line to hear your team cheering for you. It hasn't been like that for the other teams partially. Do you think that's an advantage?
I would definitely agree, because I can remember when I was kind of running for a marathon, it was a major kick to have friends and family standing on track, cheering to me, keeping me motivated, keeping me focused. So you will get an addition of adrenaline who will help you to perform. So it's great to see that this team cheers every single time.
And we have a 67.2 seconds. Again, very consistent, very fast actually.
Consistency is key, which means you will get back home with a couple of points and a nice overall scoring, I'd say. Unfortunately, I can't speak Greece, but we do understand that the tension is rising, and we always share some common looks. And now we see the cars coming back from the blue sector, entering the yellowish, coming back to another blue one as soon as they will pass the slalom, which looks smooth. Oh, a cone. Unfortunately, it's one of only few he did. Amazing driver skills, I must say. That was smooth cornering again. So timing-wise, we will have some couple of minutes left, approximately. If we stay with the time, is more than 7 minutes. But then we will close the endurance and we'll disassemble everything. From that on, actually, the staff will prepare everything and discuss with the judges and the track marshals about the cones, and will score everything accordingly. And I am already looking forward to be one of the first people who are notified about who won Formula Student Switzerland this year, and will bring back some lovely trophies to their garage. Now, welcome back on the final, on the finish and starting line. Athens finished another solid and nearly flawless lap. And guys, you can't see it on the live stream, but they're smiling so big. It's so nice to see how they cheer and how happy they are. So all the work they've put in yesterday night, not competing and attending the Cheese Award, is worth it, apparently. But we have 3 laps left to go.
4 actually.
Oh, yeah.
They are
Thank
on
you.
their 20th lap right now. Still, second driver, very consistent, always in the 77-second range, which actually puts them right up there with Campus Tirol Motorsports and Milano, which is amazing to see, really great. We're always cheering for more competition. I think we've said it a bunch of times. It's still worth repeating. The more better teams, the better. As after a little hit of a cone, the car makes its way across the start-finish line for the 20th time. and he's now in his third final lap.
We don't have an update on that timing yet, but that looked quite solid. And now we had also a 77.3 time, which is consistent with
Very
the former laps.
consistent. I wonder whether now the rain will start to play a tiny role in the lap times. Maybe the track is not quite as grippy as it used to be just like 5 to 10 laps ago. But we will see. So far, the driver has been staying remarkably consistent.
But if you now compare it to the Campus Tirol Motorsports team, which was running on track with wet tires, we could say that they were running in a good strategy, but we see from lap to lap some disadvantages compared to riding on slicks in these conditions.
And they finished the 21st lap to a round of applause. And deservedly so, I would say. 2 more laps to go. 79 seconds for the previous one. Going strong.
And the moment has come. The track marshal, who's in charge for notifying the driver that who will approach his last lap, just picked up the sign. He's training how to wave it, cleaning it to make it as visible as possible. And also our head of dynamics already grabbed the check and flag. So we are, from our side, are prepared, and we hope that your driver is prepared as well for his final lap, as he is kind of coming back from the horizon, passing through the stiff corners, through the blue sector, following a yellow, blue slalom and the final corners of this lap. So guys, we had the drill. I know you were cheering all the other laps, but please make it different to kind of welcome your driver coming back, approaching his final lap soon. So he will have to have, maybe he can get a purple run on this. Now he's within the slalom. Done. Approaching the final corners. Guys, make some noise for approaching the final lap.
That's amazing. It's just great.
It's so nice to see how they're really cheering. And our head of dynamics both are having the checkered flag. I wonder what they're up to. If they will wave simultaneously. Please bear in mind that this team has still been on one lap.
I'm getting hyped for the finish. Like,
and we see the bouncing team.
this energy over there, it's contagious as hell, let me tell you.
Guys, are you ready for closing the endurance session of Formula Student Switzerland 2025? They're bouncing, cheering. Everyone is kind of ready to put their smartphones in the air to film the final lap, the final corners.
Car's coming back.
All
Still
our
solid
stuff.
as usual. Now he's going through the tricky corner where we've seen some people having issues yesterday. Solidly done. It's eerily quiet here, and I'm just going to be quiet for the last final laps.
Your time.
Guys, are you
Make
ready?
some noise. He's passing the final corners.
Come on.
Welcome and congratulations for finishing the All of Endurance Smoothness. Welcome back, car number 25. Congratulations to the team. And thank you, guys. That's it. And thank you all to volunteers on track, off track. It was a pleasure hosting this session. Thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you very much also from my side. It's been great having you here. It's been great being able to host this. And also, very finally, a last shout out to our sponsors, Glencore, Nordisches Zentrum Goms, Keller, and Feuerlöscher Service Center, who provide all of the equipment, all of the money, and everything else that's necessary to have an amazing event like this. Thank you very much, and see you next year.
See you at the award ceremony, teams. And of course, cheers out to all the guys from Campus Tirol Motorsports for making this live stream possible. It was a pleasure working with you guys, and hopefully see you next year.